God morgen, alle sammen, og velkommen til webinaret. Skal vi se, har vi alle? Det kommer folk inn. Ja. Hyggelig at dere vil ta morgenkaffen sammen med oss. Jeg heter Besawit, er fra Lastmail, produktsjef for energiteknikkprodukter. Jeg har vært i Lastmail nå i 6 år. Jeg kan fortelle litt om Lastmail før vi begynner med webinaret. Lastmail er et selskap basert i Asker med 30 stykker ansatte. Vi har lager og logistikk på samme sted. Lastmail er ikke bare en produktleverandør, ikke en boksleverandør, men vi setter verdi på produktene, for vi sender de ut til kunder med å sette verdi. Da mener vi at det kan være konfigurasjon, oppsett og kalibrering. Vi også deltar på commissioning og test av releveren og andre komponenter i kraftbransjen. Vi har prosjekter i offshore, onshore, også da gjelder det for marin og olje, gass og kraftanlegg. Det er om Lastmail. I dag har vi også her sammen med oss en av våre leverandører som er Arcteq, og vi har Olander som skal kjøre webinaret, da med fokus på AQ200-serien, lysbøveren, distans eller linjevern, og relatert cybersikkerhetskravene og hvordan vi oppfyller kravene. Da er det bare å sette i gang. Vær så god, Olander.
Okej, tack så mycket, Besawit, för introduktionen. My name is Robert Olander. I will do this presentation in English, and I'm working at Arcteq, and I will tell you a little bit more about our company. I have been working for Arcteq for about 10 years, and we are a company who designs, manufactures, and sells protection relays and arc flash protection. This, like was in the information, I think this presentation will take about 45 minutes, and we will leave some time for questions. So please, if you have any question, just put it in the Q&A, and then we can discuss it after the presentation. So what I will tell you a little bit about our company for those who haven't worked with us before. Then I will go through both the protection relays and the arc flash protection. Quite briefly, of course, we can go through. If you are interested, you can of course find much more information online, and also we can take separate meetings to go through details if it's needed. We have actually now released also in our protection relay series line protection. We will go through those, and then we will end up actually with something quite new. It's something that we are releasing this week. We will change a little bit the setup of the devices, and okay, I will tell you more about that when we go ahead. So the company, Arcteq company. Like I said, we are a focused manufacturer on protection relays. We were founded in 2010, so we actually turned 15 years last year. So that's why we have also 15 in our logo, if you are wondering about that. We are basically in the world center of protection relays because we are in Vaasa, and here has been actually long tradition in manufacturing protection relays from ABB and today also Schneider, and even though we are a 15-year-old company, our experience is much longer because all of us have worked with protection relays. Myself also, basically all my career. We manufacture everything here in Vaasa, and or actually we have an assembly factory here, and we test everything, and but also all the components are manufactured in Finland. So it's we can easily say that we have a fully Finnish and European product, and actually we are quite proud of that. We have a global presence through both our own offices, but mainly through external partners. Like Last Mile is one of our great partner in Norway, and we are also today, since about 4 years, we are part of a bigger family, actually Ensto Group. Ensto is a family-owned company, which is actually quite big in the distribution network. They manufacture many types of components there, and actually we are expanding their product line with protection relays and some intelligence for the network. We have more than 35,000 protection relays installed worldwide, and then when we go to Arc Flash protection, it's even a little bit bigger. We are talking about 100,000 units installed globally. And just a quick look on the map. So here you can see we work globally. We Nordic countries, Nordic is very important to us, but we work basically everywhere. And if you look at 5 regions, Nordics, Europe, Americas, Middle East, Africa, and Asia, we are close to 20% in sales in all of these regions. So we are very evenly spread, and that of course tells quite much about our products also. They suit. We have a very wide design, and also the software is quite flexible, so it will fit more specifications anywhere. So that's always a good thing. And just a quick look first. I will go through more details in protection relays and dark protection, but just a quick look on what we offer. So protection relays we call AQ200 series. We have different setups there, little bit different hardware depending on the need and how much, for example, iOS is needed. Then Arc Flash protection, our other big leg is there we have a much more significant role globally than on protection relay, which is quite competitive. But here we are actually the only one who can provide a solution with a quenching device which fully meets the IC specifications. I will explain more details about that also. And then finally, for the distribution network, we have something we call or a fault detection device. It will detect faults, but you can also do remote control, and also protection through this fault detection device AQ50. And this is quite an interesting device also. I will not go into details about the AQ50 today, but here again, if you are interested, please just contact anyone on Last Mile or Besavit on Last Mile, so you can get more information. Okay, AQ200 series. So the most accurate protection relay in the world. I will explain to you what I mean by that. So in 200 series, we have 2 different frames. We have the 210 frame and we have the 250 frame. Basically, the biggest difference is that in the 210 frame, we have 6 option card slots, and in the 250 frame, we have 14 option card slots. So basically, it means that you can expand the 250 much more. Protection-wise, they are quite identical. Okay, and then also the display. In the 210, we have a small 2-color display, LCD display, and in the 250, we have a full-color large display. You can also represent mimics and measurements and everything in the 210 frame. That's not a problem, but it's a little bit smaller than the 250. And the fundamentals we have, we started this design in 2010. So we have quite a recent platform compared to many other devices on the market. And that gives us a lot of advantages. We have 3 processors inside. We have a dedicated processor for protection. So in case of some failure on some other part, the protection is the last one to still function, still give the functionality. Then we have a dedicated processor for I/O and measurements, I/O handling and measurements, and then we have a dedicated processor and a very light Linux system on the HMI and communication on the devices. So here you can see the words are of course fast and secure. That's clear. That's what we are aiming at. But you can also, the prioritization is also quite unique. I think that we can guarantee functionality of the protection actually quite deep. And then if we take a look at the front of the devices, so for communication from the front, there's an RJ45, so it's a normal Ethernet connection, nothing special there. So basically the idea, of course, is that for connecting to the device, you use just a standard cable, which you can find anywhere. So it's no dedicated solutions here to make it more complicated. On the front, we have 4 fixed LEDs on both, showing a trip and a start, and if there is some internal error. And then, in addition to that, there are 16 programmable LEDs, and you can basically indicate anything with these LEDs, and the description of the LED will be in the display. So the upper display is a carousel, so you can have up to 8 different displays. On the front, of course, Mimic is the one, but you can also divide Mimic into several pictures if you want, and then you can have, and then the definition of the programmable LEDs will be in the display. On the 250, we have also function buttons. So we have 12 function buttons, which you can program to do basically anything internal in the device or external through digital output. So it's like, or through communication. So there are so many possibilities with this. Also, the definition of the programmable buttons are in the display. Like I said, Ethernet port on the front and so on. And then the difference you can see here is the display. If we take a look on the back, you can see on the right-hand side of the device, you can see the motherboard. So there we have the processors. There you have another Ethernet connector for basically for protocol communication mainly. There is an RS connector, RS485 connector for RS protocol communication, and then as standard we have 3 digital inputs, 5 digital outputs, and then power supply on the right hand side. Everything else is done with option cards. So if you need more analog inputs on current or voltage, if you need more digital inputs or outputs, you just add cards. If you need RTD inputs, if you need milliampere inputs, you add that. And then also we have cards for different type of communication. We can take a look at them here. So then what you can add with hardware options is, of course, okay, depending on the type, it will have either 5 current inputs, 5 CT inputs, and if you need also voltage, then it will have 4 voltage inputs. And of course, you can add CT inputs so that you have 10 if you want to do the differential protection and so on and so on. But that is depending on the type of the device. And then depending on the type, you will have a certain amount of open slots. If the current will take 2 slots, the voltage will take 1 slot. So it means that basically you have 11 slots open for for any type of option that you need. Like I said, RTD, milliampere, digital outputs, inputs. And then on communication, we have many options. You can have redundant fiber with HSR PRP or redundant RJ45 with HSR PRP, or then you can add just communication cards. You can add more RJ45 if you need without redundancy, and you can add serial fiber cards. So I think that with this we can basically cover any requirement anywhere regarding the communication and so on. And then if we take on cybersecurity today, is very, very important. We actually invest quite a lot in this all the time. Today we are compliant to the security level 1 on the IEC 62443, and actually we are aiming, I think, still this year to reach the security level 2. But I think today security level 1 is according to most specifications everywhere, so we can basically fit that. Then if we look at the platform on the device, we have quite, of course, we are talking about analog signals, which we convert to digital signals. So you need, it's depending on the sample rate, how well you will represent the analog signals. And we have actually quite a high sampling rate compared to other products on the market, 3.2 kilohertz. So we will get 64 samples per cycle. Fast protection, instant protection, depending, of course, now on what type of protection it is, but the fastest possible, like overcurrent protection, can be in 15 milliseconds. We have 8 setting groups for each protection stage with a 5 millisecond changeover time. And then I think if you have ever looked at our Activate, which is our setting and configuration software, there's a lot pre-configured so that you just activate it and take it into use and do the setting. But then if this is not enough or this is not according to what you need, then we have a full logic, freely programmable full logic with all the functions that a logic system provides, and it's very fast. It's performed in 5 millisecond cycles, and also I would say that it's unlimited. You can build up how big logic system you need. You can add the logic functionality there, so basically unlimited. Disturbance records, we can store 105-second disturbance records with the full 64 samples. So actually this is probably more than anybody will ever need. Or if you get more than 100 failures in your network, it's quite much. 15,000 events will be stored in the memory, and for each protection stage there will be 12 fault registers, so it will register the fault currents and duration and the timing of the fault and so on. Of course, nothing special there, but I think we have quite many of those also. All this is in non-volatile memory. It's a flash memory. You don't need any battery or capacitor backup. It's all there. It's also anything you store in the device will stay there until you delete it. It doesn't matter if it's supplied with power or not. Okay, and now we come to the most accurate relay in the world. So I think still we are the only relay manufacturer with a device on the market which meets the accuracy of 0.2% on power and energy. So basically you can use this for metering. Of course, very rarely it's used as a metering device, but it can be easily used for reference metering. You can compare your billing meters to your customers with the values you get from the relay on the substation to make sure that everything is okay. And so reference metering is something that can be used. Actually, one thing where we are also quite dedicated is the frequency range. We can set it to any frequency between 6 and 75. That's why we also have quite many devices on Vern, which you use 16.2 thirds of frequency. So we can, with our standard devices, we can make a railway protection device for Norway, Sweden, Germany, Switzerland, which have this different 16 hertz network. And of course, extremely sensitive earth fault protection is very important in our countries where typically compensation is done on the earth fault. So we need to have a very sensitive device to be able to detect the small earth fault currents that are provided. Okay, this is the disturbance recorder. So, like I said, 5-second recordings, 100. So, also there is a tool for analyzing them. Like here we can see an intermittent fault with the current and the voltage here. So then protocols. So of course today quite widely used is IEC 61850. We have edition 2 support at the moment. We are actually now upgrading it to 2.1 and a little bit after that also 2.2, which is coming now. There is not big differences to edition 2, which is quite crucial, but yeah, we are just working on upgrading to the latest model. Okay, Goose parallel communication, of course, is used more and more instead of copper signaling between the devices. Of course, then 61850 Goose can be used. Then we have a lot of other protocols which still are in use to some extent. 61850 is slowly replacing them, but we have IEC 103, 101, 104. Of course, 101 and 104 remote protocols are still very widely used. So, but basically it means that you can connect our device directly to a SCADA system also if you want with the remote protocol. So that opens up also quite many possibilities. DMP, Modbus, even the old Strömberg ABB protocol SPA we have. I think we are the only one with still having it inside of the device. Modbus, we have also a Modbus gateway. So if you have other Modbus devices on your substation, you can connect them to our device for sharing the communication of those devices if needed in some place. OPC. And then synchronization, IRIG-B, NTP, PTP. So basically, and these are all when you buy a device from us, all of these are always included. So you don't need to worry about if you need to change a protocol later, you can do it anytime. It's not a problem. They are all there. They're all in the device. Okay, and this is the Activate software tool. This is totally free of charge. Anybody can go on our website, arcteq.com, and download the Activate setting software and start doing and connecting. Or actually, you can either work offline or online, so you can actually make your configurations without connecting to the device. But this is quite an extensive tool also. And here you see a little bit what, so the 200 series is targeted on the distribution network. We have also line protection like line differential and distance protection in the device. And but also we see that this type of functionality is more and more needed also in the distribution network. So that's why at the moment the functionality we will look at is typically targeted 100 kilovolts or below. And then transformer protection, of course, with or without differential or with differential protection, but with or without voltage protection, or with or without AVR. So that's an option which you can add if you want to integrate AVR in your transformer protection. You can also have it separately in a smaller device. Machine protection, so we have quite full specification with motor and generator protection. Also here with or without differential protection and so on. And actually we are quite big because we are working a lot with the industry also. And of course we need to be able to provide this type of functionality. Then we have an alarm annunciator. This one is start to be quite a unique device. Today we have full 61850 with Goose, so you can also collect alarms in this device with communication or then with hard wiring. So you can get more than 100 signals into this device with hardwire, and then you can connect with Goose, of course, as much as possible. And then very flexible display, so you can decide how many you want to show and so on. And then also we have bay control devices and things like that. Then we have a product configurator on the web. I think this is if you want to check a little bit what type of devices we have, what is available, what do you need, what can you choose, what can you combine, then go to the product configurator. There you will find basically everything. It's on arcteq.com. You can just click product configurator. There you will get into it. Here is a short video showing a little bit just what's the general idea here. So you can choose the application. You can like filter the devices first, then you choose the feeder protection device, then you start choosing the functionality that you need, like digital inputs, as many as you need. Digital output, there is an info telling what it does, then you can choose it, and so on. And then you can choose milliampere input, then you can choose communication, like we do here, like an LC redundant fiber. And then you see here what the order code will be. You can add it to inquiries, and then you can send it directly to us if you want to get more information, if you want to get an offer for it, and so on. So this is actually quite a great tool to if you don't know, or even if you know our products quite well. Also, if you have an product code, you can just paste it here in the configurator. It will tell them exactly what's included. Okay, I'm using a lot of time here, but let's go ahead. And then, so the AQ100 Arc Protection series. So we call ourselves the pioneer because, like I said again, like even though we have been on the market and have our products for 15 years, our history goes much further because our guys who have designed this system have basically been involved in arc protection as long as it has been available on the market. So they have been designing systems before this. And okay, why do you need an arc protection? Of course, it's quite clear that if you have a typical overcurrent protection, I will show you a video soon. It's enough if you have a normal short circuit, but if you have an arc flashover in your system, you need to be much faster than 200 milliseconds. It will destroy your switchgear, and it will also be quite dangerous for people working there. So by installing an arc protection system, you can take down this time to 6-7 milliseconds, including breaker time. Or if you install also a quenching device, you can take the total arcing time down to 4 milliseconds, which is recommended in case you have more than 30 kiloamps of current. Here you can see, so we have 3 different systems here represented. Normal arc flash protected system with an arc flash relay, arc flash relay plus a quenching device, which will eliminate the delay in the breaker, and then a conventional relay, and what type of protection you need in these different cases. So if you have like a system with 30 kiloamperes, 50 kiloamperes, could even be 100 kiloamperes, if you let it burn for hundreds of milliseconds, it will be quite bad. Okay, just I will not go into details about the products. Once again, if you need more information, we can go into details, but there are different ways of realizing an arc protection system. You can do it with point sensor models. You can do it with fiber sensor models. So it means that either you will put a sensor, a mechanical sensor indicating or detecting the light as a point sensor, or then you will install a fiber in the whole in the whole switchgear and detecting it everywhere. It depends a little bit. I would say that loop sensor is used very often in low voltage switchgear where you have more details, and then in medium voltage switchgear very often point sensor models. But it's not so simple. There are many different ways to realize. You can also make a mixture of loop sensor and point sensor if that is needed. And then the main units typically measure also current. So the idea is that you get two criterions. If you have an arc flash, then you will have also a short circuit current. So if you have only an arc flash and no current, then it will not trip, because then it's something else. Then it's not a real system arc flash. It's a camera or something like that. So that's why. But you can also, depending on what you want to do, you can also build up an current light only system. So these are basically subunits to the current unit arc sensor models, detecting only light, and you connect light sensors to these. But it's like. But they can work also standalone. So it depends again on the specification. Sometimes it's specified that you need two criteria, sometimes it's not, and then current only system or light only system is often used. Only thing, when you have a light only system, you need to be careful that people are not allowed to use cameras or things like that in the area. There are DIN rail installation models or then flash mounted, depending on what type of installation you need. And then we have the quenching devices here, which is making it much faster, taking down the arcing time to 4 milliseconds. So this is because even if you have like a short circuit current of 50 kiloamperes, even the 70-80 milliseconds delay of the breaker is too much. It will destroy the switchgear quite thoroughly already then. And then you need to install also a quenching device. So basically what a quenching device does is that it will create an inside of the quencher, it will create an internal short circuit. It will move the energy from the arc fault to the inside of the quenching device, and then it's designed so that it can take 100 kiloamperes for 200 milliseconds. So it means that it can take the fault current inside itself until the breaker opens. So it's actually quite a robust device. And we are the only one on the market with a device which you can do mechanical operations. You can test this device. Typically, these quenching devices are one-time use. So if it operates, you need to change to a new one. And that means, of course, you cannot test it, because if you operate it, you will need to change to a new one, which is not tested. So there we are quite unique, and that's why we are also doing quite well on the arc protection. So here you see now, this is a video representation. This is a test we did in Berlin with switchgear of one of our partners. And so here we have three different versions, same switchgear and same current and everything. In the first one, we have only overcurrent protection relay, 310 milliseconds. In the second one, we have an arc protection system. So then, including breaker delay, we will have 62.8 milliseconds time for the arc. And then in the third one, we have an quenching device, an AQD, and there we will have 4.4 milliseconds protection time. So now you will see how it reacts. So this is in slow motion, of course. So you can see that in number 3 you see a small flash. In number 2 you see a bigger flash. But still here, even though you had that big flash, it was okay to go. It did not destroy the bus bar of the device. So it was still okay. But then you see number 1, it's just going on, and it's destroying the switchgear fully, and also it's very dangerous for people. And here we are talking about 30 kiloampere. It's low voltage, so it's 730 volts in this one. So it's a low voltage switchgear in this case. Okay, this was it. And now let's go into some news. The line protection. So basically, this line protection is in the feeder protection F255. So it's actually added options to these, and you can see from here that if you take AQF255A, it's a standard feeder protection. If you take B, C, D, E, then it's different level of line protection included in that. So the B and C is line differential, D and E is distance protection, or then combined line differential and distance protection. And the line differential is like a peer-to-peer. There is a main device and a sub-device. So you do all configuration in the main device. It will automatically update and do the setting in the secondary device through the communication which you have between these devices. The communication typically, I would say today, is fiber. It can also be on copper, depending on what is required and what is needed. So it's a 1 millisecond update cycle, so it's very, very fast. And also you can have a master trip functionality with these devices and line differential functionality. And here again, also like said, you can have a dedicated line differential device which does nothing else, but you can also have full feeder protection here, so you can combine the functionality. It can do both feeder protection and line differential. And then if we go to distance protection, here we have a little bit more news than in the line differential. So we call actually our distance protection segment-based distance protection. And this is based on the idea that typically in a distance protection, you can have up to 5 zones. I think in this case we are actually representing two zones, but still within a zone you will have several line segments. You can have an underground cable, you can have an overhead line, you can have a different overhead line, and they all have different parameters. In a typical distance protection, you make an assumption, you make an estimation of the impedance on the line. So you will have, when you go to a certain spot on the line, you will have an impedance which is close to the actual one on the line. But what we have done different is that you can actually feed all these different line segments. If we have a cable, we have a reactor, we have an overhead line, we have another overhead line, you will put the exact distance, the exact meter of this type of cable and what the impedance is. So it means that you will, on each spot of the line, you will have the exact impedance that is there. So if you have a fault there, it will react according to the impedance and you will know exactly what it is. So it will be more accurate. You will have better accuracy on fault location and also be able to do the control better. Here you see just the setting tool where you put in, so you put on how many kilometers it is and what are the values of that line segment. And you can have up to 5 different line segments in it. This is quite a big advantage. And there is again a video. This one has a sound, but I could not get it to, this I will try to explain to you a little bit what will happen here. So you will see the different segments. I will put it running now. So you will see the different segments here. You see we have 3 different segments now. There was a cable, an overhead line, and so on. And this is the conventional way. You have an estimation of the impedance. This is the segmented way. You will have the exact impedance in all sections of the network. So here you see again segment 1, segment 2, and segment 3, all different, all calculated. So we have the exact impedance there. And here we see like an estimation of a fault. We are comparing the characteristics. The upper one is the segmented one. The lower one is the estimated one. We have a fault which actually is outside of the zone, so it should not trip. Let me just put this one back here. It should actually, we have a fault outside of the zone, so it should actually not trip. But due to the estimation in the impedance, this one will trip anyway, even though it shouldn't. So this is basically what the difference in the in the accuracy could mean. And that's basically this is making it also much easier to set up, because then you don't need to estimate anything. You just put in the exact values of the line segments you have. Okay, and then finally I will finish up with something very new. This is actually not yet even released. It's going to be, or actually today it's released on an exhibition in Helsinki first time. So we are a little bit changing our setup. You saw that we had a different type of device for feeder protection, for transformer protection, for motor protection, for generator, and so on and so on. And so we have a very big scope of different devices. We are changing this now to something we call AQ1. So you can see here now that we have updated also the hardware. The 250 is about the same. You could see in my previous presentation, and then but the 210 is changed a lot. So basically what we have done now, they are all on the same platform. So they all have identical software. So you can now choose the hardware depending on how many options you need, how many option cards you need. In this one, you can get 6 option cards, this one 10, and this one 14. But then after you have done that selection, how many IOs you need or what type of communication, which is then telling how many option cards, then you, after that you add the functionality, and that can be anything. You can set it up to you can then choose the functionality package for feeder, or you can choose functionality package for generator, and you can choose exactly how many analog cards you want to have, and it will always be the same. It's an AQ1, and they are all identical on the software side. So I think here we are quite unique, that we have from low end to highest end available. We have exactly same software. The display, of course, is smaller in these two. So we are calling, let me go ahead. So we are calling this one small, medium, and large. We have a smaller display here, but it's still color display. It's the same functionality as here. It's just a little bit more narrow. And then on the medium version, we have function buttons. We have 6 function buttons compared to the 12 on the big ones. And the smallest one, we don't have function buttons. But otherwise, all the LEDs are the same. The functionality is the same. The software is the same. So it's like you can see from the back that they look exactly the same, and the only thing, the difference is that now this card is exactly the same as the one in the smaller one, and the software is exactly the same. Okay, so this is basically what you can do and what you can choose, and here you see then that you can use the same device for all different applications you need. It's just a matter of updating the software to the actual application. Is it line protection? Is it transformer protection? Is it motor protection? Is it generator? So that's basically the idea with this one now. Okay, I think I'm finished. We have now time for questions. So